facts straight, it's like meeting your nemesis. So
it will cost you.
It will cost you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Osam is like, he is the rock star, around this area. If you talked about medicine, I mean, he's popular. It's not like, I would say, I don't know. He's the one people dreaded to beat. Yes. Osam, if Osam was going to be examining you, you have to be on point. Your lab coat, your handwriting, your way of talking. If you see the residents or even the house officers in his team, everybody writes well and legibly. Yeah. If you didn't write well in the folder, you could actually have to tear it
out
and then clack properly. Yes. I mean, the guy he is still quite dedicated to the course of training in med school. So, Prof, salute. You're still doing a good job. Sometimes, med school, because you don't know what destiny holds out for you, you never know tomorrow. You really don't want anything or any situation, any event sort of setting you back. So it makes you fear your trainers.
Yeah.
Because 7 years in school it's no joke. I trailed twice. Did you trail?
No.
Okay. I trailed biochemistry and then what again? And pharmacology. Yes.
I never trailed, but I filled a few eyes.
Okay.
That made me sit up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, internal assessment. This was like were promotional exams, and I trailed them. I blame myself. Okay. So, do you have any plans for? You are currently in residency.
Yes.
General surgery.
My first year.
Okay.
General surgery.
And how did you end up choosing surgery?
Well, right from my housemanship days, I realized that I enjoyed working with my hands.
Okay.
So perhaps in my other life, if I don't come as a surgeon, I may be a mechanic or
You never know. An auto engineer.
Yes. So I like to work with my hands, with tools.
Okay.
So I actually enjoy surgery. It's not work to me at all.
Wow.
It's like
It's fun.
fun. Yes.
It's
To be taken serious too.
Of course. There's a lot of reading in there. It's nice to hear doctors talk about things they enjoy doing. But a lot of these guys out there who have made it in their careers talk about fun, having fun with their work, enjoying what they are doing, and they're also making money out of it. Because it looks like for you to profit from what you are doing, you must enjoy it first. And it's sometimes doctors will talk about, for instance, if you have a lot of cases to do, and you hear a lot of doctors complaining. So we were on duty and there's so many cases, and we went in theater and our list is so long, and rounds is taking too long, and we have so many cases. So sometimes I feel like this negative energy that we internalize by criticizing the quantum of our work can get to us if you don't cultivate a habit of talking positively about your work. That it's fun, it's enjoyable, it gives you satisfaction. I take that from a lot of these hip hop artists, Dr. Dre, a lot of these tech gurus like Mark Zuckerberg, like Elon Musk, some of these industry giants. They talk about having fun with what you are doing. Yes, and I think doctors we should love to talk about our work with that passion that we enjoy it. We love to see results. We love to whatever. And then with that, out of that, you'll find some energy that will make you become creative and do something that will set you on a path to financial success. That is what I believe in. Because if you don't have passion and you don't enjoy what you are doing, you're all just being robotic. Just go do something a little, get paid, you retire. There's nothing to show for looking back at life. So I'm very happy you enjoy what you do. Surgery to me is quite rewarding. One surgeon who inspired me, Dr. Sari. I trained first year house job in Cape Coast, the regional hospital. Then second year I went to Holy Family Hospital of Chiman. As I was in Cape Coast, one surgeon, Dr. Sari, is now retired, he's in Accra. Dr. Sari salutes. He was the one who really opened my eyes to being a fine surgeon, paying attention to detail. I'd come from ONG as my first rotation. Reviews were more like, a little bit sketchy. ONG were not, reviewing with so much detail. Dr. Sari taught me how to do proper reviews, how to take detailed history, and also pay attention to detail. Okay, a surgeon has to be detailed, and that sort of made me set the basis for me to sort of launch into surgery as a career, and also find it rewarding. Then I met Professor Michael Yes, this is one gentleman who also inspired me so much. Okay, academically, he opened my eyes. In residency, I thought I was learning until I met that guy and realized that, whoa, he this thing called inspiration, I think it's a serious word. He really changed my whole concept about being a surgeon. And a time came, I recorded every little thing he said. People had their own controversial things to say about him, but I liked him. He transformed my thinking about surgery, the academic bits. And the guy is not just academically good in surgery. He decides to learn statistics and is going for it. He tells you that if you have to walk a path, and the path is overgrown with weeds, keep walking that path again and again and again, and the weeds will die and the path will clear out. You get it? So he was always telling us that with regards to the topics that we find challenging, we should just keep reading it again and again and again. And the man was right. The guy was living around Tech area, was getting to work earlier than me, who was living around Bantama. Look at Bantama or Banachi. He will get up. I think he was even exercising or doing something. And I asked him, Prof, how do you do this? He said that whilst he was outside in UK training, that's what he was doing. So it is something he's been doing for years. You get it? So discipline and commitment. And the guy was a fine surgeon. Nobody could take that away from him. So he really inspired me a lot. And also when I met Rahman, like I tell you, he's a rock star of surgery. Rahman too really, elevated my thinking when it came to surgery. And there are so many other people that have inspired me. I'm sure I can mention names, but I'll just let it be. There are so many great guys out there who teach you something, so that's how it is. Which people really inspired me? And I'll feel shy to mention them, but I'm sure that's the whole point of this exercise.
Wow.
We just want you guys to know that your good works have laid a foundation that's giving birth and it's yielding results.
So my inspirations, or people who have inspired me, first would be my own classmates.
Okay.
I remember
Med school.
Med school, very sharp chap, Kenneth Ufori.
Where is he now?
He should be in the US, pursuing pathology.
Okay.
Yes. How the extent of understanding that he demonstrated,
For the course.
for the coursework was inspiring. I'm sure not for only me, but many other classmates. We had a few seniors, Asafwechi and Co. And then during my housemanship, I was privileged to be in the team of Dr. Ali Samba, so gynecologist, obstetrician gynecologist at Lovi.
Okay.
I think he's the medical director now. Yes, he did for me as you described.
Okay.
Prof. Uwai.
Yeah.
As you described what Prof. Uwai did for you. So he inspired, the fact that we had to pay attention to detail. At that time, the issue about maternal mortality was really serious,
and it still
remains
is,
a serious matter. But I think our figures are going down because of the good work. Obstetrician, in general,
okay.
what the obstetricians and gynecologists are doing. Yes. And then I went to the district. I had the opportunity to travel around when I was doing my housemanship. So I went to Georgia, met a newly qualified surgeon called J.C. Lamte, Joseph Lamte. Yes. He was one of the first people to introduce me to the word principle of surgery. It means that there is a difference between someone who can operate or who can perform a surgical procedure from a surgeon who understands the reason for which the procedure is to be done and how to handle complications in case they arise. Yes. So the word principle, I got to understand that word principle, and I think that remains the backbone of
going into surgery.
Yes.
That's quite inspiring. I usually like to hear such personal stories because if you haven't had an encounter with someone who touched your life this much, you naturally will not have that wind sort of carrying you along when you are down. You see, sometimes you look up to these big figures to sort of remind yourself that no, this man said this. So even in my challenging times, I should still rev my engines and keep going. You see, that's always sort of what sort of keeps me going. I ask myself, I'm reading, I'm tired, I think this is a little bit too difficult. Then the conversation I had with, let's say, Prof. O, I will play in my head. Okay, and then how he says it, his gesticulations, his confidence. He treats every topic as though it can be enjoyed. He treats surgeon as that is the only thing that you can do in life. That's kind of, I'm sure if, let's say, a computer scientist was speaking to me, he will present it in that way for me to sort of like it. And it is good that individuals are able to carve a niche for themselves in the areas of their specialty, so that you give people reason why they should come on board. And not just like, oh, surgeons, we are good, so come and join us anyway. Give them reason for wanting to do it and do it well. And these things do stick, because how many years down the I started residency in membership 2012, completed 2015, 2016. I'm here still talking about it. You get it? So it does make a difference. It does really, really make a difference. Okay. We got into the washing bits. So Dr. Lovi will tell us about a topic that is comfortable. So take it away. Wash us on any topic of your choosing.
Okay. Let's see. I think I would like to do something outside of
Okay.
surgery.
Okay, that's okay.
The second area I enjoy surgeries, actually obstetrics and gynecology.
Wow, that's great.
Yes.
So you watched us on something from there?
Yes, I would like to watch you on a procedure.
Okay.
A very simple procedure.
Nice one. All right.
The cesarean.
Cesarean section.
Yeah.
Okay. Please take it away.
Okay, so the operative procedure of cesarean section is it is a life-saving procedure that can be performed in the elective, that means in the relaxed setting, and then in the emergency situation, and it involves making an incision on the abdomen of a pregnant woman, usually at term, meaning when the fetus has or the baby has fully matured, although there are instances where it has to be carried out earlier. Yes. So there are indications for performing the operation in the elective setting, where there may be a threat to conditions that may cause a threat to the life of the mother, or conditions that threaten the life of the baby. So in the elective setting, it can be for very high blood pressures, severe hypertension, eclampsia, pre-eclampsia, where now there is a problem with the kidneys and then proteins are found in the urine, or eclampsia. Oh, did I say elective setting? It would be edited, right?
So this one will be the emergency indication.
Yes, it will be edited.
Not a problem. Let's go on.
Okay, so I digressed a little. Yes, and then for the baby in the elective setting where there is restriction of growth or some congenital abnormality with the heart, the head, maybe severe hydrocephalus, situations like that. So in the emergency setting, the indications could be severe bleeding antepartum, meaning before the baby comes out, at a point where it is impossible to deliver the baby vaginally, either because labor hasn't set in or labor hasn't progressed enough to warrant the baby coming out immediately. So another setting is where the mother has convulsed and is deemed unfit to deliver vaginally, or labor has progressed to the extent where baby should come because the mother is fully open, the cervix is fully dilated, but there is disproportion between the baby and then the passage. That means the cervix, the pelvic bones, and even the vagina. So this is just a few of the indications for cesarean sections. Now, the decision has been made, so one has to decide what type of anesthesia would be given. There is what is usually used is spinal anesthesia, unless there is some contraindication, then there may be the need to do general anesthesia. In the elective setting, some people would prefer an epidural, actually. So the woman is laid down supine, obviously, because of the abdominal, enlarged abdomen. Okay, the surgeons, depending on his dominance, will stand either at the right, left, but conventionally on the right side. The preparation is done with antiseptic solution, usually chlorhexidine or iodine. Some will add spirit, alcohol, at least 70% alcohol.
About 95.
95%. Yeah. Then the incision, it is recommended for the purpose of access and then cosmesis that a transverse incision is used, and that can be a phalansteal incision. There are others to a coin incision, depending on the preference and the comfort of the how comfortable the surgeon is, and then depending on the situation, if it's an emergency, sometimes some would prefer to go
Lower midline.
midline. Yes, lower midline. So you go through the skin, go through the underlying tissue, which is the subcutaneous tissue, go through the campus fascia, which is more of a fatty tissue, then the scarpus fascia, which is more of a fibrous tissue. Then you reach the fascia, the rectus fascia, the anterior rectus fascia. So in this instance, we are imagining that we are using the transverse, no transverse incision. You go through the anterior rectus, and then you'll be able to bluntly, you'll be able to bluntly divide the rectus abdominis muscle, split it in the midline. Yes. And now you would have reached the transversalis fascia and the peritoneum, which you would either by digital exploration break through in the cephalad direction, cephalad, and then downward around the umbilicus, because there is an atomic defect that easily gives way when you go that way. Or you could use hemostats, pick up the peritoneum and then insides. And you stretch open. Because of the likelihood of injury to the bladder, either because perhaps the woman was unable to void. Usually there should be a catheter in place. Yes. But sometimes, because of the pressure from the head of the baby, the bladder doesn't empty fully, so it might be in your way. You have to retract the bladder, urinary bladder downwards with a retractor, Doyle's retractor. Then now the next thing you see is the anterior wall of the uterus. Okay. There is a peritoneal reflection of the bladder over the anterior lower segment of the uterus. Some would prefer reflecting that layer. Others recommend that there isn't much of a difference as to whether
bleed necessarily.
Yes. So a lower segment incision that can be determined by passing your hand. First of all, you actually have to palpate, because sometimes the uterus may be rotated depending on what you find. So you palpate from side to side, identify your nasal structures, especially the uterine arteries. So that will help you determine the extent of your incision.
I mean the round ligaments?
Yes, the round ligaments. Yes. So usually a lower segment transverse or U-shaped incision is made, and it is preferred that the wound or the hysterotomy is stretched anterior, that's cephalocaudal, this way. Some would stretch with their fingers laterally. Yes. The danger in that is if you stretch too much, you might go into the uterine vessels. Then you insert your finger and then palpate the part of the body of the baby that is presenting in the lower segment. If God is good to you, okay. If you are lucky,
yes,
it will be the head.
Okay.
That should actually be predetermined. You should one
yes.
would be able to predetermine yes, and anticipate what
unless a compound presentation.
Yes. If it's the head, then you slip your hand around the head, taking care not to go too deep, and then with your wrist slightly flexed, like that.
Dorsiflexed.
Yes, this way. You can't see. And then you deliver the head first. Clean the baby's.
Have you had to use an assistant disimpacting the head from the vagina?
Yes, actually.
Is it conventional? It
It's.
has helped me on several times to prevent tearing the.
Yes, that's
the lower segment into the vessels.
Actually, that's very true.
Because sometimes can sort of almost auto amputate the lower segment.
Yeah. By
trying to disimpact on your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've had quite a number of situations
wearing sterile gloves and then disimpact.
Yes. And it's important you've raised this point because it was one of the problems that it is and remains one of the problems that young surgeons face. And so the result would be bad tear into the lower segment or even laterally into the uterine vessels. So it is advised that where you anticipate difficult delivery of the head, maybe because it is descended deep into the pelvis, you either ask for help from a midwife or an assistant doctor to push the head. Yes. So thank you for that reminder. Yes.
I can't tell the number of times I've used that maneuver to disimpact head from the pelvis. A few times I thought, let me just quickly get around it. You end up spending a long time, repairing the uterus because you've had a very gaping, wide whack gaping tear, and so it really does help.
Great. Yes. So baby's head is out. You can now sweep your finger into the armpit and then deliver one hand first, one shoulder first, preferably the posterior shoulder, and then grabbing the head from side to side, deliver as you would vaginally. Yes.
And it's important that you're raising this point because I see a lot of surgeons, when the baby is about being delivered, they grab any part and then yank it out, forgetting about the neuropractices and things you can get from cervical, the brachial plexus injuries, and sometimes to excessive traction on the neck. I think usually by the time you sort of get the presenting part out, like if it happens to be the head, putting your hands under the armpit and gradually working the baby out should be fairly straightforward. People sort of rush to that procedure as though once the baby comes out, he must be quickly delivered into the hands of the midwife and stuff to be done. It can still take time. If it took you this time to prepare and get the baby out. Just take your time. What's your take on in doctors recommending that, or I think some midwife recommended that you hold on to clamping and dividing the cord for like a minute or two and allow for blood to gravity drain into the baby from the placenta.
Yes, well, that
Is
came
it
as
holding this way in modern practice?
yes. Actually, that recommendation came as a result of studies that have been.
So that excess blood, what is it going to do? What advantage is it going to confer to the baby?
Well, it's a difficult
I've
question,
never had to do it.
You know, babies, they compared to the adults, babies' blood volume, the blood volume of a baby is critical. Little loss.
I understand. But for all the ones that have been clamped, have you managed them for anemia?
Well, no. Not actually.
Some things might be useful, but is it relevant? I don't know.
I'm not an authority.
It remains to be determined. Okay, maybe we should leave it for the ONG guys. You decide to choose this topic anyway.
Yes.
ONG is always.
I think in the emergency situation, where yes, you are. There may not be the time to wait.
Yeah, it's almost always difficult to determine whether the baby needs that blood. If he needs that blood, I mean, come out, let's go get the blood.
Yeah.
But you need to have your baby's life saved first.
Especially for cases of fetal distress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so baby out, placenta out.
Yeah, so baby is out, placenta safely delivered.
Do you clean the uterus?
I do routinely.
With the Abdopac?
With Abdopac, but
I used to do it, but
I've been told it's not.
Yeah, a lot of people, seniors say it's not
necessary. Yeah. But then, if should in case there are retained membranes,
but then if they deliver vaginally, who goes to check that?
Oh, the midwives actually insert.
Is it a good practice at all? I discourage that in my district hospitals. It was painful.
And you've not had any secondary PPH occurring, or even PPH occurring after cesarean section due to that, for which
you see, most of them will be due to uterine atony. All right. So that if the uterus is well contracted, all right.